in Iraq until 2013 when the contract ended. I only have 5 minutes to let everybody know who I am, so I'm going to go off my resume. I have a top secret security clearance from the Department of State. I was a dedicated 26-year military veteran with an education in security management and government contract experience in a high threat environment. I worked for the Baghdad Embassy Security Force in Iraq from August 2011 until March of 2013 for a company called SOC, but I worked directly for the Department of State. I operated under 3 levels of legal authority: the International Order of the Laws and Usages of War and Resolutions of the United Nations Security Council, the U.S. law, and the Iraqi law. As such, I possess the authority to stop, detain, search, disarm, and apprehend or arrest civilians and government personnel on United States property. I also worked for Triple Canopy, who had that contract prior to SOC, and that was from June 2008 until August of 2011, and I had the same authority as I had with SOC. Prior to that, I was a trainer of advanced infantry tactics for a company called Vanilla Arabia, and I trained Saudi Arabian officers. I planned, prepared, executed, and assessed individual and collective tactics training. My highlight is the United States Army. That's what I'm proud of. I was active duty, National Guard, and Reserves from October 1980 until August of 2007. The highlights of my military career include I was deployed to Iraq from 2003 to 2005, and I filled the following positions. I was a senior advisor of U.S. Army Special Operations for Iraqi Ministry of Interior Commandos, and I was the Assistant Operations Manager, analyzing, planning, coordinating, and supervising intelligence and operational information in a tactical operations center. During the weeks and months that followed the terrorist attack in New York on September 11, 2001, I was responsible for the safety of Americans, immigrants, and foreign nationals throughout New York while deployed in leadership positions to the Canadian and United States border as a team leader of 15 counter-drug task force personnel working with U.S. Customs, Border Patrol, and New York State Police. In Manhattan, New York, I was a non-commissioned officer in charge of Homeland Security operations consisting of 30 personnel. This task force worked with the New York City Police Department to secure the world's largest bus station by monitoring intelligence information and dispatching guards, roving patrols, and traffic control checkpoints based on the threat levels. I was at LaGuardia Airport in New York as the first sergeant of an infantry company of 120 armed personnel to maintain safety at the airport. I was at the nuclear power plant in Oswego, New York as a non-commissioned officer in charge of Homeland Security operations of 15 personnel to maintain safety of the power plant. My additional duties of my military career includes reconnaissance platoon sergeant, responsible for collecting, consolidating, and reporting intelligence information utilizing satellite communications. I taught and mentored Iraqi commandos and U.S. soldiers for special operations. I was a senior instructor of primary, basic, and advanced leadership and management and the infantry qualification course at a U.S. Army Academy. I coordinated and trained the U.S. Army and Air Force pilots for survival, escape, and evasion, and I was on the counter-drug task force. I have my education, I have a bachelor's degree in organizational security management and supervision, an associate's degree in occupational studies, which is human resources. I have a certificate in law enforcement from Hartford Community College. I'm a certified security supervisor manager with the International Foundation of Protection Officers. I'm a certified protection officer with the International Foundation of Protection Officers. My special training that I've had was with the U.S. Department of State. It's a certified course for the Baghdad Embassy Security. I've attended primary, basic, and advanced leadership courses, a U.S. Army Ranger, and my time is up. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to stop it with saying I was proud to serve our country for 26 years. I'd be equally proud to serve our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
Last on the nominee list is Jerry Lester.
Mr. Cross and members of the commission, my name is Jerry Lester, and I appreciate the time to get up here and introduce myself to you this evening. After hearing these other fellows talk, I'm not sure I even ought to be up here. I tell you, you've got some wonderfully qualified candidates. I'll tell you a little bit about my history. I'm retired currently. I spent 30 years in state government with the prison system and as a criminal investigator, and conducting criminal and administrative investigations throughout or related to the prison system statewide. I did that. I was a special agent for 4 years and then eventually became director of that unit for the last 3 years that I was attached to it before becoming warden. Went on to be warden at 3 different facilities, including my final assignment was the state's largest prison, West Tennessee Maximum Security Prison in Henning, Tennessee. It's been a long journey, and the reason that I'm here, I told you I'm retired, and I never really saw myself seeking employment again, but the reason I stand before you tonight is because all my life I've had a passion and a love for the law and a love for people. I love justice, and I love law enforcement. And I think if you look over my resume, you can talk to the people that are mentioned in it, the different references that I have, and anybody that you talk to that knows me will tell you those 2 things, that I love law, and I'm talking about not only law enforcement, but the essence of the law. I believe that the law is in place to serve and protect people. And all we have to do as law enforcement officers is stick to that law and enforce it. The decisions are pretty simple. We just have to abide by the laws that are in place. I give you my word, if you give me the opportunity to serve the citizens of Fentress County, I'll do so with the utmost integrity and bring the office to a point where we can once again have pride, confidence, and self-assurance that the Sheriff's Department in Fentress County stands for the people. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Now, those of you who came in from the general public did sign that you would wish to speak before this commission, and Jeff has got that list. Would like to please ask you, if you would, to limit yourself to about 2 minutes, and then we can move on with the meeting. Jeff, are you ready?
Yes, and again, we'll be following the order in which they signed in. And first on the list is Jack Baker.
Thank you. It says, "In God we trust." Whether you know it or not, all government employees are representatives of God. Tonight you're going to select a person, or working toward it, of a man of integrity, and I highly recommend Tom Rosencrantz. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the list is Lisa Bingham. Hope I got close on your name.
You're right.
Just adjust that microphone, pull it down to where you need it.
Okay. Commissioners, I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you. And each one of you commissioners are in the position to determine. Can you hear me? Oh, good Lord, nobody ever had trouble hearing me. But each one of you commissioners are in the position to determine what direction this county goes in. Last week, a couple weeks ago, I've been out of town over in Oak Ridge and Oliver Springs, and when people see my license plates, they automatically have very negative comments to make about our county. And it hurt my feelings, then it made me ashamed, then it made me mad. to be honest with you. But I held my tongue, and I kept telling them, there is good people in Fentress County. There is good people in Fentress County. And there is hope for our county. There is. And our hope is the Lord Jesus Christ. But we need to place people in positions that are good people, that it's important to them to be held accountable for what they do or do not do. And each one of you commissioners, all I ask is that you truly pray and seek God's face, because each one of you were placed here for such a time as this. Like, I thought about you, Justin. It took me forever to figure out your real name wasn't Elvis. And who would have thought that you would be placed in this position, honestly. And I just ask that each one of you pray and truly seek God's face, because you are going to determine the direction this county goes in as far as our law. And I want healing for our county, and I want the sheriff's office to be respected, because I love my county. Me and my husband chose to move here. We weren't born here, but we chose to move here and to make this county our home, because we love Fentress County and God has a plan for it. But it's important who we put in office and who we allow to determine to uphold our laws. And I just ask that each one of you pray about it and really seek God's face. And on a note, I've known Tom Rosenkrantz for several years. He is honorable in all he does. And I mean, he's not perfect by no means. You know, that's his wife, he's not. But he's a good person, and he truly loves Fentress County. And I just ask that you do. Thank you. Sorry.
Judith Howell.
I just want to say that I do respect all of you and do trust that you will make the right decision. I think that law enforcement is so important to this county. I've seen a lot of things in law enforcement I don't agree with. I've seen a lot of things I do agree with. There's good and there's bad there. I do not know who I will support. I do feel that I need to say this to you all. You need to remember that we have a candidate that was right there when all this went on. I can't believe that this person can be a good sheriff under these circumstances. No one's really wanting to bring that out and say it, but it's true. And I just pray that you all will, you know, do the right thing, and we get somebody that can make us proud, you know. And there are people in law enforcement I feel so bad for, because they are taking the hits for this and they don't deserve it. And I do thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next is Nicholas Jurenko.
Commissioners.
Go ahead, adjust that up, Nicholas.
Commissioners, thank you for this time. I just have to say that I'm new to Tennessee, and I've been here a year now. Last year, had a very unfortunate incident, and I needed help. I had just met Mr. Tom Rosenkrantz at a neighborhood function. My wife and I didn't know who to turn to. We were in a panic. And Tom, not even knowing us, showed up, supported us, stood by our side through a very hard time, and he never wavered. And I just want to give testimony that this is the kind of man we need. This is the kind of character we need in Fentress County. We don't need problems anymore in Fentress County. We need good Christian people, people of honor, integrity. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Next, sir.
Bobby Kennedy.
I think he said it all. I don't know what I could add to that, except I know Tom for quite a few years now. He does love the law. We've discussed that quite a bit. Forensics, he knows his stuff. And I think he made a great sheriff, but that is all in your hands. And I pray that you will. That's God's guidance. Because we do need someone that's going to be honest with everybody. Doesn't matter where they're from, what their color is, he will be there for them. Doesn't matter how much money they got or how much money they not got. He will be there. And I want to thank the men and women of the Fentress County Sheriff's Department. They're great. They got a job so tough and so dangerous. And we all know they don't get paid like they should. Because what is human life worth, you know? These guys goes out every morning or every night, and they don't know whether they come back home or not. Because there's a lot of people out there, a lot of crime, and right now we need somebody to lead these people in the right direction. And I think Tom Rosecrans is that person. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir.
Jamie Davidson.
Hello, I am new to this town, maybe 5 years tops, and over the weekend I encountered a life-threatening situation. Didn't know what to do, where to turn. I called the police station. There was 2 deputies over the weekend that did help. But he did get away for a little time, so the first thing I did, I went to Tom Rosecrans. He's a neighbor. When I was there, he automatically got on the phone and contacted the neighbors. And through him and the deputies, we were able to get this guy and put him up for a little while. He's on bail now. But if it wasn't for Tom, I really don't think that we would have got him. And he really did. I mean, he knows the law. He is very honest. And I don't know much about anybody in this town. I really don't. But he really is the one that needs to be the leader in this town to do the sheriff's job. He honestly, he'll help. And that's what this town really does need right now, is somebody that they can fall back on and trust. I didn't know whether to call or not. I didn't know if it would do any good. And I'm glad I did. But I mean, he automatically took the role as sheriff and did what he should have done. So with that said, please highly consider Tom and I mean, just consider him. He's a good man. He is, and he knows the law. And he's honest. He really is. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ricky Ledbetter.
Well, actually, thank you first of all. I'm here to support Gary Ledbetter. I mean, he's got a lot of experience. He's honest. He has integrity. And I think he'd be a good man for the candidate. I mean, not only is he my brother, but I still think he would be a real good man for the job. Like I say, if you go and make your decision on honesty, integrity, and the years of experience, he'll be a good man for you. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Anthony Copeland.
Thank you all. I believe it's the first time I ever spoke to the commission, but I'm here on Gary Ledbetter. He's been a long-time friend of mine, and I know everybody has to go through a process, but you know, we got election coming up in another year. Then we can let people decide who they want to serve. But if you put anybody else in his position, I think you're doing him a disjustice. I really do. And whenever you go to make the selection, I just ask you one thing: what is the right thing to do? And we can't blame other people for one person's actions. So thank you all for your time.
Thanks, sir.
Linda Copley.
I'd like to thank all the county commissioners for the meeting tonight. I think we need it for the county. I've been in the county for 58 years, and I've seen a lot of stuff that's not been handled properly. I was broke into 4 times, wasn't a deputy one. It took them 2 hours and 45 minutes to get to my house, and they were going to take me to jail for somebody breaking in my house. And I know for a fact there's rape cases was handled very improper. It's going on now that was not handled properly, and I think we need somebody in the sheriff's department that's going to handle the jobs right and be honest to people and treat people with dignity. Don't make them think they're stupid because they call them out. And I think Tom Rosenkrantz would be the guy for that because he is a godly man. And thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mark Schote.
Go ahead and move that up if you need to, Mark.
All I want to say is I agree with that young lady. We've not got no law. I spent about 90 days in jail on account of this former sheriff, and I reported over a year ago, got a son that's 2-time amputee and had his 4-wheeler stolen. They still not found nothing. I think it don't be fair if Tony Schote was appointed sheriff because he was next in election, and that's the way Butch Blevins, when he done this, Scott Norris got the job. And I know Tony personally, and he's a good man.
Thanks, sir.
We need law, we need it bad. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Last on the list is Rob Lauer.
Good evening, County Commission. Mike Cross. This is way out of my comfort zone. I don't do this kind of thing normally, but felt the need to come up here today. 2 reasons. One of them is a little selfish. I would like to say that the cooperation between I work for the police department full-time. Most of you probably know that. But the cooperation between the police department and the sheriff's department, which has been very helpful in solving crimes in our county, has been very, very helpful. In the past, it's not always been that way. I've been privileged in the last couple of years to have the cooperation so good. Secondly, I want to speak for Chief Deputy or Sheriff Ledbetter, it is now, for the time being. I'm first of all who I am because of the blood of Jesus Christ. I first and foremost am a Christian above all. Secondly, I am who I am today in law enforcement because of Mr. Ledbetter, who took a young sheriff's deputy who had never had any experience whatsoever and took him under his wing, trained him, and made me the officer I am today. I'm proud of who I work for. I'm proud of the Jamestown Police Department. I also work for the Sheriff's Department part-time. I'm proud of the job that they do up there. You're going to get negative any way you go. But all in all, they do a good job. Mr. Ledbetter is qualified, and I believe he would be the man for the job. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Folks, that completes the list of people who asked to address the commission. I appreciate all of you coming out. Again, we will be accepting resumes from now until June the 2nd. We do have post packets. We've got them up here if any of the potential nominees or candidates want to pick one up. And again, that's up to the candidate to get that done, get that into post, and for us to get that information back. Again, appreciate y'all's concern. We are passionate about making sure that we're doing this right and that we get the right man for the job. Thank you, commissioners. Thank you, the general public that are here. Thank you, those who are interested in that position. I'll entertain